Joining us now, Ranking Member House Intel Committee Congressman and author of Countdown to Socialism, Devin Nunes. Congressman, this makes my blood boil here. If you think about the fact that this escaped from a lab in China, we don't know if it was accidental or not. We believe it was accidental. But the fact that they shut down flights from Wuhan to the rest of China, let them go all over the world, hid the information from the world, stockpiled the PPE. And now you get something like this from the Chinese communist-controlled media. 200,000 Americans have died. It's now reached the upper echelons of the U.S. government. I mean, I wouldn't call it an assassination attempt, but this is negligent homicide on a massive scale. What are you and your colleagues prepared to do about this?
Well, look, Republicans have been investigating China for a long time, and Donald Trump is the first president of both Republicans and Democrats to actually be on the campaign trail back in 2016, say clearly that he was going to take on China, and then do it. I remember thinking at first when he was talking about he was going to put on these tariffs and that sort of thing, I thought to myself, Jesse, every president says it, it's really not going to happen, and then I'll be damned, he does it. That's what's incredible to me, is that he actually did it. And so, you know, the Chinese Communist Party talking points and their media actually sounds a lot like 90% of the media in this country. And I just want to be clear, Jesse, I've been in the White House several times during this coronavirus pandemic. And it's so silly, the media that talks about how they've been loose or lax with the rules. It's hardly that. It's almost impossible to get into the White House. I will tell you that. You have to take a test. You have to sit outside. You're not allowed in until then. So all of this talk, whether it's the Democrats and their mainstream media propaganda arm here in the U.S. or their satellite propaganda arm over in China, one thing is for sure I can tell you, this president has taken this virus extremely seriously, and let's hope for an early and quick recovery.
Yeah, we're all hoping for that. And I just want the media, as you mentioned, and the Democrats to focus on the real villains here, which was the Chinese Communist Party, who oversaw the release of this pandemic accidentally, we believe. And I know the intelligence community is investigating, so we get a full scope and understanding of how this got out and how it was covered up. Because pointing your finger at Donald Trump, that doesn't do anybody any good.
And it's another example, too, Jesse, of how just not ready China is to be a world leader and on the world stage. We had this idea, this concept that we were going to be friends with China. Their economy was going to grow. We were going to lift billions of people out of poverty around the globe. But in fact, these are childish dictators that are not ready to be leaders on the global stage.
Right. And they've completely squandered all goodwill that they had because of how they've handled this. All right, Congressman, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for being with me.